name is Caitlin Carlock, and I will be doing this presentation on the routine communication of a certified public accountant, which is what I am hoping to be. That's what I'm going to Dell Tech for in order to be a certified public accountant. And so this is the type of communication I will be doing in my future. So first, we will take an overview of accounting. So certified public accountants have been licensed by state boards of accountancy and have passed the uniform CPA examination. They have to meet experience requirements and good character requirements, as well as study in accounting in post-secondary education, so that means college. In addition, they must also follow strict ethical guidelines and standards and complete a specific amount of continuing education hours, such as seminars or webinars, in order to maintain their CPA license. CPAs can work for individuals out of their home, have their own businesses, or they can work for businesses or accounting firms. So in order to collect primary research, I conducted an interview with Miss Dana Burrell, who is a certified public accountant. Miss Dana has been working in the state of Delaware as a certified public accountant for the last 26 years. She has worked in CPA firms where she has done audits on banks and local governments, businesses, and their internal accountant, and she has had individual clients through her home business, and my family actually goes to her for their taxes, so that's how I conducted this interview. So from Miss Dana, I learned that there are three major types of routine communication documents in accounting. The first and most common being texting, the second most common being emails, and the third most frequent is letters. So here is an example of a text that Miss Dana has sent to one of her clients. In this text, she is responding to them, which is why we don't have a grading, but she's asking specific questions that she needs in order to fulfill their forms for their taxes. So she's asking these specific questions that she needs, such as, did you buy or sell or acquire any virtual currency in 2021? Did they move? Did they get a stimulus check? And did they get married? So those were all for their forms that they needed for taxes, and she was very clear and concise with what she needed. And then she ended with a farewell and her name. So the second most common is emails, and this is an email Miss Dana works for. In addition to her professional business, she also works for Peninsula Pawn. So this is an email where she sent to one of the locations of Peninsula Pawn, because she is the personal attorney, which means that she controls the taxes for the business, and she needs to collect all the information from the different locations. So this is her sending an email to a different location verifying somebody's employment. So she had a very clear and concise message. She said her purpose right off the bat, and she ended it with asking them to let her know if they received her email and if they were able to open the attachment that she provided, which is all very important and very professional. And then she ended with her farewell and her signature. And then the third most common type of routine communication in accounting is letters. So this letter is sent to the Department of the Treasury, more specifically the Internal Revenue Service, where she was getting fined for for making a payment late for the company that she works for. However, they kept charging her even though she did pay it after she realized that it was late. So, first she started with a little bit of context for the situation, and then in the next paragraph, she restates that she has had only one late payment and that it was paid. Once again, she maintains the most level of formality in the letter, where she has the date as well as the response to the institution that sent her this letter, to the revenue agent. And then she ends her second paragraph with her clear purpose, which is that she's asking them to stop all penalties, as it was not done intentionally and was resolved as soon as it was noticed. She ends it with a farewell and her signature, once again, very concise, very clear, no spelling errors, and yeah. So here are some additional tax documents that an accountant needs to know how to fill out. One is a 1040 tax form and the other is a W-4. So in this example, this is a personal information organizer that Ms. Dana uses to collect the information that she needs from her clients in order to fill out their taxes. So she asks personal information and then status, if they have any dependents, refund information, etc., etc. So while she is answering or asking these questions and her clients are answering them, she makes notes for future questions that she will have to follow up on, and she makes sure to note that she asked all questions via phone. And that is very important, as she keeps a record of how she asked these questions, whether it was in person or over the phone, and what more information that she needs from them. So that was my interview with Miss Dana Tyrell, certified public accountant. She had a lot of insight into the accounting field, and she's had a lot of experience. She really stressed the importance of communication and effective communication, especially as you are dealing with people's finances and you want to have all of the correct information to the IRS, and you also don't want to disappoint your clients if the IRS, if information was wrong and instead of getting a bonus, you end up having to owe money. So yeah. Now we're going to start talking about secondary research, which is business communication in depth. So this really stresses the differences between creative writing and business writing. Creative writing is creative, so it has multiple different purposes and different tones. It can be interpreted differently by people based on their perspectives. Business writing, however, is not meant to be interpreted differently. It's meant to be the most clear and concise form of communication, and is really just supposed to be clear. It's not supposed to be interpreted different ways. It's supposed to be the most effective form of communication. So it should have correct grammar and should not use colloquialisms. It should use straightforward wording, and should use the right jargon for the situation and who you're speaking to. So if you're speaking to the IRS, you're going to use different jargon, different words than you are going to when you are speaking to a client. So here are some of the tips that this resource gave me. The first one was audience awareness. So you need to know who your audience is, as I just mentioned, as your tone and the formality of your writing is going to change based on who you're talking to. So if you're talking to a client, you are going to use a less formal tone, a more personable tone than you are when you are going to be speaking to or responding to the IRS. The second is having a clear purpose, making sure that your purpose is known at the beginning and end of your writing, and really stressing and being clear of what exactly you want out of this communication. Whether you want answers to questions for tax forms or whether you want an extension. Either one. The next is organization and being able to navigate your writing quickly and easily. Clearly organized writing is very important, such as with the IRS letter that I showed you from Miss Tyrell. She had her context, and then she had what exactly she wanted. She opened it with what she wanted, and then she ended it with what she wanted. And in the first paragraph, she had her context and the situation, and then the second paragraph, what she was specifically asking of them and how she wanted them to do it. She always started her writing with a greeting and always ended it with a farewell and then her signature. And these are all very important to maintain the structure of your writing and maintain a level of professionalism in your writing. The next is clarity. As mentioned, your writing should be extremely clear. You should not use different colloquial expressions. You should use straightforward language that cannot be misinterpreted, because the whole purpose of technical writing is to have the most effective communication possible. You want to stop any confusion in its tracks. You want to have very clear purpose and a very clear style of writing, instead of creative, which is all over the place. You want to have short, brief sentences, which is what is the next tip, which is concession. You want to only provide the relevant information. You want to not include details that are not relevant or important to what you need or what you are talking about. So only include what you need to include. And then the last thing is having good mechanics. You want to have polished writing, correct grammar, and no spelling errors. You want to maintain a level of professionalism, even if you are trying to have a personal communication with a client. You should still follow these rules of polished writing and correct grammar and no spelling errors, because you are a professional and you want your clients to see that way. In conclusion, effective communication is extremely important when working as a certified public accountant. You are interacting with the public, with clients, personal clients, as well as businesses, and you want to make sure that you have all of the correct information and that you do not mess up any of the forms, so that the IRS does not audit you, and that you have the correct information for everyone, your clients, your files, and the IRS. Ms. Tyrell stated that you have to have clear and effective communication when interacting with clients to ensure that their tax information is correct, as I just mentioned. And furthermore, she stressed the importance of effective communication when having the power of attorney for a company and being responsible for all of that information for the company, and that it's correct and put in on time. Here are my references, and have a great rest of your day.